ちょっと気になってきます。あれは左ストレートだ。止めた。止められた。見事中島和樹ノックアウト防衛。辰吉重機を沈めました。
James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is in fact a two-parter. Two very significant things happened in Japan for boxing, Japanese boxing, and I think it's two things that the world needs to hear about. So let's talk about it. The first part being this: we now have a late entry into the Knockout of the Year picture. We had a Knockout of the Year candidate in a fight that happened in Japan earlier, a couple hours ago, and it was for the OPBF title. You know, a very important regional title that Asian fighters can win. You know, you had Kazuki Nakajima, you know, a guy that's highly regarded here in Japan, so highly regarded that when TJ Doheny beat him, it elevated Doheny to get an Inoue fight and an Inoue payday. So he was in action, and he was taking on Tatsuyoshi. I think it's Juichi Tatsuyoshi. I can't remember his first name, but the son of Japanese great Juichiro Tatsuyoshi. You know, he had been making his way up the ranks. He was 16-0-1. He was a fighter that, you know, a lot of eyeballs and a lot of tension is on in Japan just because of who his father was. So this is a fight that domestically speaking was very, very important. And not even just from a Japanese standpoint, but from even a world standpoint. Nakajima right now is coming into the fight was the number 14th ranked super bantamweight in the world. So he's what you classify on boxing at this juncture in time as a fringe contender. And a win for Tatsuyoshi would have got him on the world level, would have got him in the top 15, would have got him, I think, you know, more notoriety in Japan and more credibility as to where he stands in the Japanese domestic scene. And that's not what happened. It didn't go over Tatsuyoshi. It was a very short night. It ended quickly and swiftly. Basically, to put it to you guys, as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, Nakajima beat the brakes off of Tatsuyoshi. He walked him into a big overhand left and flatlined him cold, motionless on the ground, staring at the ceilings, looking at the roof, and not really knowing where he's at. So it was a big devastating knockout. Nakajima gets back in the win column, gets back to winning ways after losing to Doheny, and you know, definitely a win that I think will you know, shoot him up a couple spots in the rankings. But more importantly than that, this is a Knockout of the Year candidate, ladies and gentlemen. I really feel like the Knockout of the Year right now in boxing, it comes down to three fighters, three knockouts. Angel Leo versus Fernando Lopez for the IBF title, my personal favorite. You know, Lucas Body knocking out Ashton Silva face first, and now Kazuki Nakajima flatlining Tatsuyoshi with the overhand left from the gods to just absolutely, you know, retain his OPBF title and, you know, get back in the win column and really let the people in Japan know that, like, he's here to stay, here to do his thing. So I'll put it to you like this: this is the only knockout I've seen this year that I would seriously give any consideration to putting as the Knockout of the Year over Angel Leo. It was just as devastating. It was just as impactful. The only difference between this fight and Angelo's fight is that, you know, Angelo was fighting for a world title. This is for a regional title. So that's where, you know, significance of a fight might give Angelo the edge, and I hope that does play a role. But I wanted to show love to Nakajima because I always say here on True School Sports, if you kick ass and take names, eventually I'm gonna talk about you. And Nakajima, you know, I just so happened to be watching this fight on Japanese television or on the Japanese streaming platform Lamino. Shout out to Lamino for bringing us the fight. And I caught it live, so I didn't even know it was gonna happen like that. It's not like I just watched the highlight of it after the fact. I watched it in real time. When you watch that shit in real time, it was really amazing to watch. So shout out to Nakajima. He gets the credit, he gets the props, and I'm looking forward to seeing him build his way up the bantamweight rankings. the other fighter from Japan that made some noise today was over stateside on probox TV down there in Plant City near Tampa, if you don't know. And that's not other than Katsuma Akitsugi, bantamweight, rising bantamweight contender, someone that really has made an impression with me in a very, very short time. And I would definitely say, for me, as someone who watches a lot of boxing, he's becoming one of those guys for me that's must-see TV. Like, anytime I see this guy having a fight schedule, I want to watch him fight because he just brings so much to the table. And we'll get into all that in a second. But he was taking on a good fighter, 35-fight veteran from the Philippines, Aston. I can't even pronounce his last name, but the guy from the Philippines, Aston, who had like 35 fights, has fought Kazuda Ioka, fought Maloney, drew with Donnie Nietes, good fighter. And this was deemed to be a step up in class for Katsuma Akitsugi. Akitsugi on paper does have a big knockout ratio. He only had 2 knockouts in 11 fights coming into this one, and he got a knockout in his last fight. And he's fought like 6 or 7 undefeated guys, so like they didn't hold Katsuma Akitsugi's hand. He didn't get like spoon-fed or protected like other guys do on the way up. He had to take hard fights against live competition and do some learning on the job in the pro ranks, and he's done a great job so far. And he did an amazing job in this fight because Ashton is a big puncher, big time puncher. A guy like many Filipinos, just really strong, comes at you, very aggressive front foot dominant fighter, looking to really just punch through the target. That's the kind of fighter he is. And one thing about Akitsugi that I love about him is that he's more complete than a lot of your guys' favorite fighters. Like a lot of fighters that people want to sit here and dick ride on YouTube all day, Katsuma Akitsugi is better than a lot of them. I mean, the guy can box, he can counter punch, he can fight, on the inside. He can fight from all ranges. He's got great footwork, and that's what he showed in this fight. He showed a very vicious body attack, landing a steady diet of right hooks to the ribs. He showed the ability to turn fighters with his footwork and make them reset. And one thing about Katsuma Akitsugi, not a big knockout ratio, but when you fight this guy, you look like you're gonna look like you've been in a fight because he has to land so many punches. So I mean, he's great at so many things, really good at so many things, conditioning, punch output. I mean, he was putting 4 or 5 punches together. I mean, this is a guy, and I'm not trying to sit here and say he's as good as Lomachenko because that's lofty praise for anybody in boxing, but like, I watch a lot of Japanese fighters, and this guy is the closest thing to like having a Lomachenko style that I've seen a Japanese fighter have. So he's the Japanese Matrix. He is the Keanu Reeves of Japanese boxing. Katsuma Akitsugi went in there. He fought a guy who has been on the world level, who has challenged for world titles, been in there with big names, and beat the living shit out of beat the brakes off of him. 6-round stoppage, second consecutive stoppage in a row. And this is a guy that I think has to really start being taken seriously for being a contender. Now, I'm not really sure how long Katsuma can make the bantamweight limit because he did miss weight for this fight by 0.2, which is, unexcusable. You gotta be a professional to make the weight. But, if he can't make 118 physically and he's trying his best, which I think he is, then I think that he'll have to go to 122. That there's no other option. So listen, either way you cut it up, slice it, and dice it, this guy just knows how to flat out fight. It don't matter what weight class he fight at. This guy can just flat out fight his ass off. I mean, complete fighter, accurate puncher, body puncher, can box from the outside, can counter punch, can inside fight, can turn you. I mean, there's so many great things that Katsuma Akitsugi brings to the table. And if you're not watching Katsuma Akitsugi in boxing, you're not watching boxing. You don't know nothing you're talking about. Honestly, that's how good he is. That's how much I like watching him fight. He's one of my top favorite fighters to watch in boxing right now. So a dominant stoppage victory for him, and I just think the fact that he made this fight look so easy against a former world title challenger and a guy that's been at a high level, it lets you know that he's ready for the top 15. He's ready for the world level. He's ready to be involved in bigger, better, and more important fights. So shout out to Katsuma Akitsugi. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Nakajima's big knockout of the year candidate and Katsuma Akitsugi styling and profiling once again on probox TV. So leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.